My 25F friend 27M who I've been rejecting for a year saved me. Our friend group is saying I have to give him a chance, but I can't tell them the truth about why I can't. The night Marcus pulled me from the burning car, I knew my life would never be the same. What I didn't know was that gratitude and guilt would become prison bars I couldn't escape. It started with a simple dinner party at Jenna's apartment. Our usual crew, Jenna, Marcus, Dave, Sophie, and me. We'd been friends since college, that tight-knit group that survives graduation and actual adulting. Marcus had arrived early, as he always did when he knew I'd be there, armed with my favorite wine and that hopeful smile I'd learned to dread. "Emma," he'd said, cornering me in the kitchen while I arranged cheese on a board. I was thinking, maybe we could. "Marcus." I'd cut him off gently, the way you'd handle glass. "We've talked about this." His face had fallen, the same choreography we'd performed a dozen times over the past year. Ever since he'd confessed his feelings at Sophie's birthday party, drunk on cheap champagne and what he called finally having the courage, I'd been trapped in this exhausting dance of rejection and persistence. The others thought I was being difficult. "He's perfect for you," Jenna would say. "Smart, kind, successful. What more do you want?" "Everything," I'd think. "Everything he can't give me." But I couldn't tell them the truth. I couldn't explain that every time Marcus looked at me with those earnest brown eyes, all I could see was his older brother Ryan. Ryan, who I'd been secretly seeing for 3 months. Ryan, who Marcus idolized. Ryan, who had made me promise to keep us hidden until he figured out how to tell his family about his divorce. The universe has a sick sense of humor. That night, after another awkward rejection in Jenna's kitchen, I'd left early. Marcus had followed me out, insisting he'd walk me to my car because it was dark. Always the gentleman. Always making it harder to keep saying no. "I don't understand," he'd said in the parking garage, his voice echoing off concrete. "Just tell me what I'm doing wrong. I can change." "You can't change into someone I have feelings for," I'd snapped, harsher than I meant to. "Please, Marcus. You're making this weird for everyone." He'd stepped back like I'd slapped him. "Right. Sorry. I'll see you around." I'd gotten in my car feeling like the world's worst person, checking my phone to see if Ryan had texted. He hadn't. He never did on nights when Marcus might see. The truck came out of nowhere. I'd been at a red light, replaying the hurt in Marcus's eyes, when the massive pickup slammed into my rear bumper. The impact sent my sedan spinning into the intersection, directly into the path of an SUV. Metal screamed. Glass exploded. And then, impossibly, there was fire. Later, they told me my fuel line had ruptured. The sparks from the collision had ignited it. I just remember the heat, the smoke filling my lungs, and the desperate realization that my seatbelt was jammed. My hands fumbled uselessly at the buckle as flames crawled up the dashboard. Then the door was wrenching open, and Marcus was there. "Emma! Emma!" His hands were on me, fighting with the seatbelt, burning himself on the hot metal of the buckle. I could smell his skin singing, but he didn't stop. With a guttural yell, he yanked hard enough to break something, the mechanism or his finger, I never found out, and suddenly I was free. He dragged me from the inferno seconds before the fuel tank exploded. I woke up in the hospital with minor burns, smoke inhalation, and a concussion. Marcus was 3 rooms down with second-degree burns on his hands and forearms, a broken finger, and a story that made him a local hero. The news ran it, "Man saves friend from burning vehicle." Our friend group descended like a swarm, praising Marcus's bravery, crying with relief. And then the pressure started. "You have to give him a chance now," Jenna said at my bedside, squeezing my unburned hand. "Emma, he literally ran into fire for you. That's not just friendship. That's love." Dave nodded sagely from the corner. "The universe is sending you a sign, Em. A really loud, really obvious sign." Even Sophie, usually my ally, looked at me with expectant eyes. "I mean, you owe him at least a date, right? After what he did." I felt the walls closing in. How could I explain? How could I say that Marcus saving my life had made everything infinitely more complicated? That I was still in love with his brother, who'd texted me that night, after seeing the news, asking if I was okay but reminding me to keep things quiet? Marcus came to visit me before I was discharged. His hands were wrapped in gauze, his face drawn with exhaustion. He sat in the chair beside my bed and stared at the floor. "I'm glad you're okay," he said quietly. "Marcus, I started, but he held up a bandaged hand. I didn't do it to change your mind, he interrupted.
I need you to know that.
I didn't pull you out thinking maybe now she'll love me.
I did it because you're important to me. Because I couldn't watch you die. That's it. Tears burn my eyes.
Thank you. For saving me.
Don't. His voice cracked. Don't thank me. Just get better.
I'll back off, okay?
I'll stop asking.
I just need you alive in the world, even if you never feel the same way. He left before I could respond, and I sat there drowning in guilt so thick I could taste it. The weeks that followed were a special kind of torture. The friend group treated Marcus like a saint, which he was. Every gathering became a minefield of pointed comments and meaningful looks.
They'd seat us together. They'd leave us alone.
They'd talk about perfect timing and meant to be.
And Ryan?
Ryan asked me to cool things off just for a bit, until the attention died down.
Until his divorce was final. Until Marcus stopped being heartbroken. Always until.
I started avoiding the group, making excuses.
But that only made it worse.
Jenna confronted me at a coffee shop, her expression a mix of frustration and concern.
What is wrong with you?
Marcus almost died saving you, and you can't even be bothered to hang out with us anymore. It's not that simple, I said, stirring my latte obsessively.
Then make it simple. Tell me why you won't give him a chance.
And don't say you don't have feelings for him. We've all seen the way you look at him. The way I look at him. Like you're guilty.
Like you care but you're fighting it. Emma, life is short. You almost died. Marcus could have died.
Stop being stubborn and let yourself be happy. But that wasn't how I looked at Marcus. The guilt Jenna saw wasn't about fighting feelings. It was about having feelings for the wrong person. It was about knowing that every time Marcus smiled at me, I was thinking of his brother's hands in my hair. It was about the horrible, twisted irony that the man I wanted shared DNA with the man who'd saved my life. The breaking point came at Dave's birthday party 2 months later. Marcus had brought a date. A pretty blonde named Ashley who laughed at his jokes and touched his arm.
Something inside me twisted, and I hated myself for it.
Not because I wanted Marcus, but because watching him move on made me realize Ryan would never leave me his number for emergencies.
Ryan would never run into fire for me.
Ryan could barely acknowledge me in public. I'd excused myself to the bathroom and found Ryan there. He'd shown up late, making his obligatory appearance as Marcus's brother. We'd been so careful all night, not standing too close, barely making eye contact. Your brother has a date, I said, closing the door behind me. Ryan shrugged, checking his hair in the mirror.
Good for him.
About time he moved on from you. Does it ever bother you?
I asked.
That he loves me and doesn't know about us.
Emma, we've talked about this.
When the divorce is final. It's been final for 3 weeks, Ryan. I looked it up. He froze, his reflection meeting my eyes. I was going to tell you.
When? When were you going to tell me?
Before or after Marcus proposes to Ashley.
That's not fair. None of this is fair. My voice rose, and Ryan frantically shushed me.
I'm lying to everyone. I'm the villain in a story where I almost died and got saved by a hero I keep rejecting.
And for what?
For a man who's embarrassed to be seen with me.
I'm not embarrassed.
I'm being considerate of Marcus's feelings.
By stringing me along?
By making me the bad guy.
Someone knocked on the bathroom door.
Everything okay in there?
Jenna's voice.
Ryan and I stared at each other, the truth sitting between us like a bomb.
I could tell her. I could tell everyone.
I could blow up Marcus's world and free myself from this prison of expectations and guilt.
Or I could keep the secret. Protect Ryan. Protect Marcus.
Continue being the heartless woman who wouldn't give a hero a chance.
Fine. I called out.
Just a minute. Ryan slipped out first, and I composed myself in the mirror. When I emerged, the party had shifted.
Marcus and Ashley were laughing in the corner. Sophie and Dave were debating something animated. Jenna was watching me with knowing eyes.
And I realized, I'd already made my choice. I'd been making it every day for a year. That night, I texted Ryan, * we're done.
Don't contact me. *. He tried calling. I didn't answer.
The next morning, I invited Marcus for coffee. He came alone, Ashley apparently just a trial run that hadn't taken. I can't give you what you want, I told him, hands wrapped around my mug. But I need you to know it's not because of anything you did or didn't do.
It's me.
It's complicated in ways I can't explain.
Is there someone else, he asked. I hesitated. There was.
It's over now. Did everyone know but me? No one knows. He studied me for a long moment, those earnest eyes seeing more than I wanted him to. Does this person, do they make you happy?
No, I admitted. He didn't. Marcus nodded slowly.
Then I hope you find someone who does. And I hope someday you trust me enough to tell me the truth.
I'm sorry, I whispered.
Me too. We finished our coffee in comfortable silence, and when we left, something had shifted. The desperate hope in his eyes had transformed into something gentler. Understanding, maybe.
Or resignation. I never told him about Ryan.
6 months later, Ryan sent me a wedding invitation. He'd gotten remarried, some woman from his office. I deleted it and felt nothing. Marcus started dating a teacher named Claire, and this time it was real. Our friend group stopped pressuring me, stopped giving me meaningful looks.
Jenna apologized for pushing so hard. Life moved on.
But sometimes, late at night, I still think about the burning car. About Marcus's hands on my seatbelt, sacrificing his skin to save mine. About the debt I could never repay, and the truth I could never tell. That gratitude and guilt and secrets make terrible foundations. That sometimes the hardest person to save is yourself. That the universe doesn't send signs, it just keeps spinning, indifferent to our small, complicated hearts. And that some stories don't have neat endings. They just have moments where you choose, keep lying, or start living. Keep the secret, or lose everything. I chose myself. Finally. Messily. Without permission. Marcus deserved someone who looked at him and didn't see someone else's shadow. And I deserved to stop drowning in a debt I'd never asked for, saved by a man I couldn't love, from a fire I couldn't escape. The scars on my arm faded over time. The guilt took longer. But eventually, it did.